Hello, good morning, Pradyumna. Good morning to all of you. Hi, Devanshi, Dhanush, Pradyumna, Shiveshi, Vaibhav. Yeah, okay. Let's wait for 2 minutes, okay? I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, you all can see my screen, right? So yesterday,
Yes.
yesterday we left it here. So today, actually, we are not going to take a test actually. Okay, why? Because we want to complete the remaining items. Okay, so all these input fields, if we complete it right, then we can focus on the events part. Events is like the JavaScript. So how to how to use it, how to write the logic and all. So let's continue the class today. Okay, today until this week. So today and tomorrow we'll complete most of these tags so that you'll be aware of all the input fields available. Okay, so let's get into the action and then see what's there. Yeah, so we did label, input, text box, password and button, right? So we'll try some other. Okay, we'll try other things. So let's see the slide. I'm going to start the yeah. So script part you are aware, right? So yesterday we discussed about the script. So the JavaScript is basically used for the client side scripting. So it is the main uses of it is like we can use it for validations of the forms. So user input. So when the user has entered some text, we can validate whether it is a text or number or it can be anything. Okay, so we can just validate using the JavaScripts. Okay, yeah, and dynamically also we can generate the content that we have seen yesterday, right? So how to generate the content dynamically. So we have seen that, and then you can change the properties of the elements dynamically also. Okay, yeah, the script tag starts with less than symbol, script and greater than symbol. So we have seen this yesterday. Now label and text box we completed. So the password also completed. I'll just read through the statements. Okay, so it defines the password field. The characters are masked and are not displayed. So masked is nothing but it is the characters are shown with the dots or asterisk, and so the same the same can be achieved using the input tag input. Okay, and the type value, the type attribute is there right in the input tag. So we have to specify password. So like this. So I think some of you has already done the the practice work. So I'm seeing quite few people, but I want everyone to practice. Okay, I'm seeing only few people are doing that. So I want you all to practice. When you practice it, it will you will remember everything. Okay, and yeah, the last point is important. Must be used only for sensitive information. So the password field is used for capturing the sensitive information from the user. Okay, now let's see. Yeah. Now let's try to learn this checkbox. Checkbox is another field, right? So let's see how we represent it using the same input tag only. So it can be achieved using the input tag, and the syntax would look like this. The value of the type would be checkbox. That's it. So it becomes a checkbox. Now let's see. Okay, let's see in the code how we can get it. Okay. So where are we right now? Oh, it's in session 2. So I'm going to Oh, okay, I'm not opening. I'm going to new window. Okay, close this session 1. Fine. So class 12. So we'll see class 13. Okay, we'll create a class 13. Okay, class 13. As you know, yesterday we started using HTML, right? So I'll just use HTML only.
You
So
create
you open the folder.
What is that? I created
made
the
a
folder, right?
folder.
created a folder.
Yeah, see, very good. You need to be, very attentive like that.
And
Thanks
also
for
you
information.
made it .html so it wouldn't save it.
Yeah, right. You're right. Okay, good. Very good, actually. Yeah. So I think I need to minimize this, and then I need to create a file like this. Yes. Now class 13.html. HTML. I'll give HTML. Okay. And then I need a structure, right? So what I'll do is I'll copy the yesterday's code. Okay, whatever code is there yesterday, right? I'm going to copy the whole content, and then we'll try to add content to the same file. Okay, yesterday we learned about text boxes here, and then
Yesterday, I tried to put the script tag in the tight header part and the body part, and I put in the body part I put alert, and it's in the when I clicked on that page, the alert still came.
yeah, because that will be executed first. Okay,
But
so
but even I don't understand. Even if it is in the body part, the upper the script tag which is in the header part should come first, right? Why did the
no, it's not like that. So it is up to the the parser. So how the browser is parsing the text. So it is up to the browser. Okay. So for now, you just see like, the script works in header and the body also. Just see like, things to move actually. So next level is to get into deeper. Okay. So I want you all to understand how the script works. Okay. Just try to
So
on that part. Yes, Rivesh.
yesterday I was trying to, like, the show password function.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was also trying to make it like change the button into a hide password button. But I
Okay.
was only able to change the text. But then when I tried to make it a password again, it didn't work.
Okay. Can you send me the code so that I can
Okay.
have a look at it? Okay. So, so what will happen is you already have this change to text, right? So
Yeah, I
let's,
created a new variable.
okay. So that part, you send me the code, okay? I will have a look at it. So there could be some slight, wrong representation. So I'll just have a look at it. One more thing. Yesterday I noticed, like, some of you
Where
have
did the variable user password come from?
this one.
Yeah.
So this one is custom defined. You can give your name also. You can give
Okay,
your
now
name.
what does this variable refer to?
Okay. So what happens is whatever your
It was
element
yeah.
you are getting, right, this all this content you are assigning it to this variable, means this variable will hold the details of
I
this
got it.
user password.
Yeah.
Okay, and then once this element is stored in this, you can access all details of this user password field using this variable. Okay, so this is like, we call it as a representation of a variable. So this is a syntactical notation using var is the keyword. So var is the keyword in the JavaScript, and this is the custom defined. You can define any text here, and then there should be a assigning value, the value that needs to be assigned to this variable, right? So you have to put it in the right side. So this is like, this is like variable declaration. Okay, and initialization. So let's do it here again. I'll just have a where, yeah, whatever Shivresi told, right? Let me try that and then see. Okay, No, we'll get diverted. Shurisi, you send me the code. I'll just have a look at it and correct it and send it to you back. Okay, you send me
Okay.
the screenshot. Okay, send as a screenshot. I'll see what's mistake, and then I'll show you. Okay. So similarly, it should work actually. You see, now we are changing it to text, right? So let's change it back to. So let's after alert, you can change it back to password again. I think it should work actually. So let's see. So this is class 13, right? So I need to add it in the all lessons here. So I'll go here, copy paste, and then I'll make it to 13, lesson 13 today, right? So I'm going to make it as lesson 13, and then here comes lesson 13, okay? I'm going to save this. So I need to see it how. I'll go here, type localhost. So what's our port number? 1000, right? All lessons. So 13 has been newly created here. I'm going to click this. So it comes here, type something, show password, alert. See again, it's changed back to, the password field. When I click here, it comes, yeah, it's working, should I say. So for you, right, to see how it is working, you can have one more button, right? So it's like, you are trying to do this, right? Hide password.
No, my function was using the same button.
No, same button you should not use. So you should use another button.
No,
So
it's because I put another on click on the first button.
no. Only one on click per button. Okay.
Okay.
So there should be only one on click. See here. So for this function, I have created one more button. So another button will have another action. So that's why I give on click. So on click does hide password. So now we are trying to hide the password. So we'll remove this part here. Okay, we'll remove this part here. And then what happens in this function? So we are getting, yeah, we are changing back to password field. So this one will show the text, and then when you click on this hide password, it will show the password field again back. Okay, let's see how it works. I'm going to save this, refresh this page. So we have two buttons here. Now I type iPassmo. So click on show password. So it came, you can see it converted to text box, right? So it converted to text box and you hide it. Okay, I'm going to hide, and then it becomes the password field again.
Is
Sorry.
the alert necessary? The
Oh,
alert thing.
alert. Okay, alert is not necessary. Alert is for you to, I'm just showing it to you. So usually, right, we show the alert messages for our messages only for messages like, please enter password field like that. So if you don't
Is
want, you
there
can just,
any end action for like what is that on release
what is that? On release.
for the button? Yeah,
Okay,
show password can use on click for the
okay.
to show the password and on release to hide the password.
Yeah. You have those things. Okay. So that part I know. That's what I wanted to cover those things when I complete this part. You see here, check boxes and all. These are all pending, right? So what I want is I want to complete this part also. This part, all these parts, right? Then it would be easy for you to focus on handling how to handle the text boxes and all. So
Okay.
means the actions. So for as you know, you already said this question, right? I'm going to give you a high, a, a small feel of how it looks. Okay, let me show you that part. Okay, now here, so we have a button events here, right? We have button events. Now, as Vaibhav said, we can have here itself. So we have password field here, right? We have certain on key down. Okay, see, on key press or on key down or on key up. We have some of the events on the text box. So, okay, this is password, right? So on this password, I have a on key up. So here, when key is released, means when key is released means you have a keyboard, right? When you press it, it doesn't do anything. On key up, right? When you release it, the key comes up, right? The keyboard key. So when the keyboard key comes up, then this event is triggered. So what is the event? The event name is on key up. So
Maybe you can change it, make it show password.
perfect. You know, that's what I was trying to do. So on key up, I'm going to call show password field, okay? And semicolon. Yeah, I'm going to call this one on key up show password. And one more thing. So there is another event called on blur. On blur is nothing but when you take out the focus from the password field, right? Means you are moving out of password field. So at that time, this event is triggered. So at this point of time, what I will do is on blur, I'm going to give hide password. Okay, I'm not, yeah. Here I want to say you all one thing. So the syntax, the case that we use here, right, is sensitive. Like, you know, whatever function you use, show password. Suppose if you mention here capital S, it will not work. It should be small only because the function names are case sensitive. You see here, Control C. That's why I always say Control C, Control V. The function names are case sensitive. Okay, that's why you should always use copy and paste the function names. Okay, so let's, yeah, sometimes it will not work actually. If you don't copy and then if you see here, I press capital H here, then it will not work because it doesn't find that function inside this page. Okay, now you understood, right, what I'm trying to say here. So as Shuresi told, so on key up, I'm showing the password. On focus removing, then I'm showing the, you know, changing it back to
How
a,
can you remove the focus?
yeah, that part I'm going to show you now. Okay, so where is our page? Our page is here. Refresh this one. Okay, when we refresh it, let's see. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen here. Okay, I'm going to refresh the page. I'm going to refresh the page. See here. So on key up, I'm releasing the, changing it to text box, right? I'm going to type IPASMO, see? Or else you can do this way. You may not notice here. On key down, I will show password. Oh, on key down means it will not be printed. On key up, yeah, on.
Other than on blur, you can put on key down, so it will just hide the password.
Okay, on key down. Okay, on key down. Or on key press also there, on key press. So while pressing, it will hide it. When you release it, it will show. Okay, now you can find the difference. Okay, so IPASM. Oh, you see here, when you are pressing key, means I did not, okay, I have to explain it this way. What is that first one? On key up. Okay, so you all can see my video, right? Yeah, on key up, on, so okay, this one should come first actually, on key press. So when you press it, the key is printed. right? I like that. Continuously it will be printed, right? At that point of time, the on key press event is triggered. Okay. On key up. When I release the key, when I release my hand from the keyboard, right? Then this event is triggered. So as you see here, it is happening. You see, when I type, it's changing back to password, right? It's changing back to password, right? Any confusion here? You got it, right? So on you
Yeah.
can you all can you all can focus on some of the events also, like what are the other events. So yeah, Advay asked on blur, right? So let's make it on blur. Okay, I'll on key up. This is hide password. I'll make it on focus. Yeah, when the focus is there, I'll show it as a password. Okay, now this one will become on blur. Okay, so when the focus is inside, it will show it as a text. It will show it as a text box, and when the focus is outside, it will convert to hide password. So let's see here. I'm going to refresh this page. So the focus is there now. So what it is now? What it would be?
Text.
Text, right? See, it became the text box. Now focus removing means you press the tab on your keyboard, means the focus you are removing it to other text box or other button. So I'm going to text another text box. Then it became password field. Bring it back again, it becomes text. Move it again back, it becomes password field. See? You understood, right? On blur is nothing but taking out the focus, moving away from that field. So now the focus is not on the text box. So it becomes, yeah, when the focus is not there, on blur is when the focus is removed from that field, then this function is called. So this function, what it is making, it is trying to get the password field. So this is the password field, right? By ID. ID means based on the ID only we are retrieving this field. So we got this element, and using this element, I'm changing its type. So the type is password, right? So that type, I'm changing it to password again. Okay. On focus, we will change its type to text. So now you understood some of the events, right? Events on the input fields. Okay. Now let's see other fields. Checkbox. We were trying to do the checkbox, right? So I'm going to add code here itself. Okay. Let me add the code here. So yeah, we added buttons here. Let me add comment first. Okay, checkbox, right? So yeah, here let's add comment. I'm going to give a HR tag. Okay, now yeah, this is all. Yeah, this is all one part. So I'm going to, okay, this demo of checkbox. So demo of checkbox, you see here, this is also pretty simple. So just copy paste the
It
input
will
tag.
in the output in the browser. It will just tell to select. If you click on it, it will
Yeah.
just tick.
Okay, I'll give you the details. Okay, so I'm going to remove this part. So make it plain. Okay. So now I take any input tag. You can take any input tag and just give this type to checkbox. That's it. So here, what is the use of the checkbox? We need to understand it first. Checkbox is nothing but like, you can take the user's selection. So if you have a requirement to collect, so like, when you are registering any form, right, it will ask you like, what are your interest? So interested categories, right? So you can select multiple checkboxes, right? So for that purpose, we can use checkbox. I'll read out the statements here. The checkbox is used for selecting one or multiple choices. Okay, so user may have choices, right? Like, if he goes to a restaurant, he'll see a menu items. Like, so the first he'll order starters, and then he'll give the main course, and then he'll go to the desserts. So in the starters, we have some fry items like chicken fry, mutton fry, fish fry. So he want to take all the three, so he'll check all the three selections. Then all the three items are like his choices, right? The same way here also. Let's see here. So let's user choice one. Okay, let's see what is this user choice one. I'm going to save it, see it on the screen. So checkbox is like this. You can tick or untick. It's like tick means user selected, untick means user has not selected.
But the person who is registering the form won't know what it is, right?
Yeah, correct. So for that sake, it should have a label, right? So instead of label, yeah, well, let's try this one. So the value is nothing but the data that is sent back. Okay, in the starter, right? So we'll have the main. Okay, let's go to the desert section. Okay, desert section is like ice cream. Okay, here.
Sir, can I go drink water?
Okay, fine. Yeah, you can go on. Come.
I have a question. You see, because in a text box you always input a value, right? Where can it, for example, if we deploy that on a server on our website, then how can we access the value?
Okay, that part I'll cover it next, Vaibhav, because we are having we are understanding the input fields first, right?
Okay.
So the submission part is like at the end of the class. Okay, at the end of the mostly early of the next week, starting of the next week, I'll handle that part.
Okay.
I'll retrieve the values. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, Devanshi.
Like you gave ID for like user choice one, right? Is it like necessary to give like the name attribute if you
Okay.
have already given the ID?
Yeah. Why we need ID? ID is nothing but whenever you select this,
No,
like
I know that you always give ID, but then can we also give the name? The name attribute, or is it like I mean,
the name
if
also.
you give ID, you don't need to give name.
Yeah,
Can it work like that?
yeah, right. It's like that only. So ID and name both are somewhat similar. Okay, name is also like we can use it for naming an element. ID is its unique identity. Okay, name can be multiple times. It can be same also. So ID also can also be same. There's not much difference actually. So, but I suggest I always go with ID. Okay, some of the cases you see here, the problem I'll tell you, Devanshi. Here I give name here. Okay, let's see, name and for both are same, right? Let's see, it should work, right? It should work in this case, and I click on this. See, I'm clicking on this ice cream here. So the checkbox is not selected. You see here. So when I give a unique identity like ID, then I select the ice cream, the checkbox is selected. So the ID has got some advantages actually. So the additional advantages and features. So that's why I always suggest, better to go with ID. So you can use actually, if you don't have this requirement, right? So I don't, after clicking ice cream, I don't want to select checkbox. You obviously can go with name. So it's up to you. Both are same actually, not much difference. Like, these kind of similar, some features. Okay, now we understood about the checkbox. So let's add one more checkbox here. Okay, I'm going to add one more checkbox, and this gives user choice 2. Okay, I'm going to take user choice 2.
Can't the checkbox put the cross symbol?
No, we cannot. We cannot. So this one is just like, tick mark only. So the checkbox allows only the tick mark. So here, drinks, okay, so, or soft drink, something like this. And then, so here, third item is this is 3, this is 2. Okay, here it comes. Okay, now let's see here in the browser. Okay, so here I'm going to refresh this page. Okay, and then you see here the checkboxes will look like this: ice cream, soft drink, and fruit. When I click this, that particular checkbox will be selected like this. So user can choose multiple checkboxes here. So it's like, I'm taking the multiple choices from the user. So if he has, so he can select only fruit. Okay, whatever he's interested, he can just, choose those 2 items like this. Okay, so in this kind of scenarios, we'll go with checkboxes. Okay, when I want to see what's user selections or user choices, you have to make use of the checkboxes here. Okay, now let's see. Okay, let's see another similar way. Okay, now read out some slides, some statements, and then we'll move on to next slide. The checkbox is also displayed using input tag. So we already saw the only what we change is like, the type. The type we change it to text. Okay. Now you see the value here. Oh, sorry. So you see the value here, right? Whatever value, oh, we have value here, right? So what happens is whenever I click on submit button, right? Suppose if we have a submit button, so as part of the checkbox will send this value to the server, this value to the server. So each checkbox has its own value. So this is the
Have a
value.
doubt.
Yes, Advay.
If you could just put after the greater symbol of all 3 labels, you put the ice cream, soft drink, and fruit juice. Why do you need to put the value also?
Not for this actually. This is okay. Yeah, that's a very good question. It looks very, very simple, but that's a very good question. You see, the ice cream, soft drink, fruit juice, whatever I have added here, right? It is only for display purpose. Okay, you can see it here. You can see it on the screen just for showing it on the screen. Now when I select this, what value user has selected, we don't know, because there are 3 checkboxes. The code will understand, okay, there are 3 checkboxes. For this checkbox, what is the value? For this checkbox, what is the value? It's like, identity, what identity this checkbox holds. So this checkbox has a value, unique value, that is ice cream. So which is mentioned in the value attribute. You see here value attribute. So the value attribute, okay. Sometimes what happens is I'm using this part, right? So in the backend systems, we may be sending values like this. So it's up to the how we code inside the backend. So backend side means like the server side coding. So when you submit it to the server, right, server will get these values. Okay, user selections, it gets like 1 2 3. Then he has to see what is one for. So he doesn't know, the backend developers, right, they don't know what is one for because this is only for display purpose, right? This is only for display purpose. So backend, what they will do is they will get, suppose user has selected one value, so they get it as 2. So they will go back to the database and say what is 2 for. So in the database there will be a mapping. So 1 means ice cream, 2 means soft drink, 3 means fruit juice, like that. So we can use codes here. Okay, we can use code here in the value part, so that when you click on submit, this value will be submitted to the backend. Okay, so let's
So value helps us to send that information to
right
the
server,
server. Yeah.
to the server, right? So now let's see. Let's check. Okay, the checkbox input tag attributes are, we already see it. Type attribute, ID, value. Yeah, here you can use style also. Okay, if you want, you can use any styles. And then the note, the value is submitted to the server. Yeah, you can see the note here. So whatever value you enter, that value will be passed to the server. Now let's see radio buttons. Okay, radio buttons are also similar. Let's see in action. So the same thing, I'm going to copy paste here. Okay, I'm going to copy paste. I'm going to just change it to radio buttons. Okay, demo of radio buttons. We call it as radio buttons. Okay, now here in place of type, I just have to type ID.
What is the difference between buttons?
It only lets you select one option.
Right, Devanshi is right. So here you see radio. I gave it radio for all.
What is the
Obviously.
difference between radio buttons and buttons?
Okay, I'll explain you. Okay. Oh yeah, here also same. The value is 1 1 1, and then the ID should be same here. So in this case, you are giving different here in this checkbox you have given 3 different IDs, right? So here in this case you have to give only one ID. Okay, so let's see here, user. Okay, I'll just mention it as gender. Okay, so this was your question yesterday, right? There was question on this. Okay, here I'll give it as male and female. Okay, so here it goes to gender. So in this case, we don't need. Yeah. Okay, now let's see. So how to write the radio buttons tags? You just have to copy paste the same input tag, just change the value to radio. Okay, and the ID should be same because it is a unique selection. Unique selection means, read it here. The radio button is used for selecting only one choice. So in radio, in checkbox, what happened? Multiple choices. If you want to capture many items from the user, you can choose checkbox. If you want to allow the user to select only one, then you have to go with radio buttons. Okay, like they'll give you a complimentary drink, right? If you go to a restaurant, sometimes some restaurants they'll give you a complimentary drink, or like if you go to McDonald's, they'll give the complimentary drink, like when you have a Happy Meal or some meal, you'll get a drink. So you can choose any drink, but only one drink is allowed, right, in your meal. So either you can take Sprite or Coke or Fanta or Ribena, any juice, but they'll give only one juice. In those scenarios, you can make use of radio buttons. Okay, we forgot to give the HR tag here. Oh, Okay, let me give the HR tag, and then we'll move to next. Okay, see here. So now checkboxes is done. Now we are in the radio button. So we call it as buttons actually. I also don't know why they call it as button. So button is just like, you know, when we have this kind of, you know, the on focus and then on remove. Whenever you over it, it looks like a button. You have a feel of pressing it, right? So when you click on it, there is an action happening. There is an action happening. But here in this case, you know, there is no action here. Okay, you see,
You
this
select
is wrong.
both.
This is wrong. This is wrong. You see, I'm going to give select multiple radio buttons. It is allowing me. It means there is something wrong. So let's read out the statements here. Normally appears in groups. So that is one group, right? Gender is one group. User selection is one group. So, you know, drinks, select a drink is also one group. So let's see, you know, what mistake we did. So it is a wrong code. It's not the right way. So there is some mistake in the code. We need to identify what is that. Read out the statements. The radio is also displayed using input tag. The value of the type attribute is radio. So we give radio already like this, and then it goes with name. Then the radio input tag attributes are below. So we have this must note. Please check the note. Must share the same name. So what we did here, it doesn't have a name. They both don't have a name here. So we'll make it a name here in place of ID. Yeah, this actually addresses Devansh's query also. When we can use name. So now I gave the name attribute in place of ID. So I'm going to save this part. Go back here, refresh it. I'm going to select this one. I'm going to select this one. You see, you understood the difference, right?
Yes.
Devanshi, you got your query also answered?
Yeah.
See, in earlier case, we used ID here, right? So the radio buttons didn't work. It gave different ID for each radio button. Okay, because ID is unique, right? ID is always unique. So name can be same. So here you can mention it as, if you want to include ID, so you can mention it as male. So here if you want, so ID is always unique. So that's why. So in this specific scenario, radio buttons will actually, you know, look for name attribute only. Okay. So now refresh this. It should be working now. See here, see here. Okay. See here we have added label, but still it's not working. Right? That's because
Is it because it is a radio button?
no, you see here in the fur attribute, what we gave gender, right? So gender will not take. So the value, let's make it as male here. For this, we'll make it as female. Okay, let's save it. Refresh this, it should work. Click on female, click on male, it should take now. You see, the label is always taking the ID value. Okay, here you can make a clear, you know, understanding of ID and name. When you need ID, when you need name, right? Understood, right, Devanshi?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So now you made the difference between, you know, how to when to use ID and when to use name also. Good. So that's a very good question. Now let's move on to next slide. Okay, what we have. So radio buttons. Yeah, the value is submitted to the server. So what is the value here? In this case, we have 1 and 2 here. So the value for radio button will be sent only one value. It's like, you know, gender will be either 1 or 2, like that. Here user choice can be 1 2 3 or 1 or 1 2 3 1 3 1 3 and 2, any combination or all. Fine. these are the values that will be submitted to the
What
server.
if all the values are same?
Yeah, you'll get the values, but you have to write a program to again see that actually there is no meaning for that. That's the wrong way of doing the things. Okay, but being a programmer, we should avoid those things. We should think about all those things and then write the code properly. Okay, yeah. What's the next slide for us? Color picker. Yeah, this one would be somewhat interesting for you all. So here color picker is like there are some requirements. Suppose if some of you are having a website where your users can design their own websites on their own. Okay, in those websites there would be some kind of requirement, like you want to provide a feature to the users. They can select their own color, they can pick their own color. So this is one of the tag that HTML provides. Okay, let's see, like what tag does it provide. Okay, so we here, if you see the tag, it is the same input only, but the value of the type is changed to color. Let's try this one. Okay, let's try this one. I'm going to copy paste this part. Okay, here we don't have an horizontal rule, so first I will add this part. Okay, I'll add this part and then copy paste. Now let's see the demo of what?
Color picker.
Yeah, see, color picker. Okay, demo of color picker. So now we don't need many actually. So I'll take out
Sir,
one. Yes, Devanshi.
is color picker and color different, or are they the same?
What is that? Repeat again.
Is color picker and color are they the same or are they different?
Yes, color picker and color, right?
Yeah.
No, we don't have two actually. It's like only color.
Okay, but it's the same, right?
Yeah, same.
Okay.
So just color. You just have to mention the value of the type is color. Okay, and you can give like any name, like user selected color or user choice, user color, something like this. Okay, user color, and then name we'll just remove it for now. Okay, this one we'll remove it, and then we'll add.
You need to change the for.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm going to write the text first, filling the content now. Okay, choose your favorite color. Okay, I'm going to give this label to the beginning, not at the end. Control X, go home, Control V, yes, and then I'll give the input tag. And yeah, as I said, we need to make it same for and ID. I'm going to save this part and see how it looks on the web page. Refresh this. You see here, choose your favorite color. Now you'll get it like this. Okay, now you can click on this, so you'll be presented with a color picker option. So what happens is you can choose here. You can just click with your mouse and then point which color you want, and then color combinations also you can change it. So what color you want. So you can take these values and these values will be submitted. So if you want a color code like this, you want to submit it to the backend, you can just submit this part. So just change it like this. These values will be submitted to the backend. Okay. So I'm just giving an idea. So you all can try it, okay, later.
How did it come as hashtag 5 something?
Okay, that's the color notation actually. That's one of the color combinations. So this is like hexadecimal number. Okay. So it's like hexadecimal means you'll get confused, but let me show you, like it starts with like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10 they call it as A,
A, B, C, D, E, F.
C. Yeah, correct. Devanshi, right?
No, Aditya.
No.
Who was that?
Aditya.
Aditya, good Aditya.
Sir, it starts from 0 because the base value of hexadecimal is 16.
Right, correct. So there should be hexadecimal is nothing but 16 numbers. So you have to check how many numbers are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Correct, Aditya, very good. So how do you know this?
Sir, we learned it.
Where did you learn?
In our school.
Yeah.
We have a chapter on binary and hexadecimal.
Oh, that's very good and too early, I think. But still, very good actually,
Even
Fine.
now, conversions from binary to hexa to decimal to binary.
Oh my God, when did I learn all those things in my
When?
career? When I was doing my engineering. So graduation, like, bachelor's graduation. But you are learning it in your school days only. See how the education is, advancing. Fine, yeah. That's why, programming, whatever you start now, right, it is very much useful in your career in the later part of state. Okay, that's why I started with this HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. These are all like basic things that you can easily understand. So once you understand the patterns, right, how the code looks like, how you can write, then the next level is you can go to the advanced levels and then see what you can do with the new technologies. Fine, good Aditya, very good. So that's the notation of the hexadecimal, and here, so you can give any combinations of these numbers. So like 0, F, 0, F, 1.
Can it go like A, B, A, C?
Yes, yes. You want to try? You can try it here actually. What is that? Yeah, we have this one, right? Where is that? Okay, here let me add a text here. Okay, in the input color, you can write something like SPAN, span, style is equal to color.
What is span?
Okay, I'll tell that part later, not now, when you're trying to understand the layouts. So here you give some name. Okay, the color. Okay, here I don't understand this color. So just like I'm giving a span tag. Span tag is like if you want to apply some styles to a text, right? You will make use of this span. Okay, so there is no big use. The only use is like if you want to specifically apply some styles to the selected text, right? You'll be using the span tag. Okay, it's like advantage to the developer to apply the colors actually. So here what I do is I can give hash code here. So you are saying 00000, right?
That's black.
Okay, 0. Yes. See, you can see what color is this? Black. Now you can give any combinations here. See here, this one is
In the slide, you wrote FF0000.
yeah, the one also you can do it here. Anything. See, F E E A, and then you can see what color is that. So it is translate. Yeah, slide.
That's lime.
What is that?
That's lemon color.
Yeah, correct. This is like yeah. Code. It is the color code actually. The color code that we have selected. If you see it in the code, the text will be printed in that color. You see, this text is printed in this color. So what you do is you can write a program. You see here you'll get a good use case. So you use the JavaScript, take this color, and apply any color that you are selecting, and then apply that color to the selected color here. Okay, try that one, today. So maybe that will give you some idea of how to apply. So this is a simple use case, very simple. So here you can make, it doesn't look right. So what you can do is you can give a bold tag here. Okay, bold tag, and you give it as, where is it? Okay, Control Shift Child, and then just like this, then it will be in bold color. So now you can try this one. Okay, click on the red, and then on selecting value, this color should also change. Okay, you see any?
It's because you'll need to refresh the page.
No need actually, no. On change or on load or something would be there. On input, on load, on mouse. Yeah, you try this one. Okay, you try to see on selected, or what is that on? Yeah, on focus, on form input, on key down. Okay, key down, fine. It's not keyboard event, it's key press. On blur. Okay, you can make use of on blur. Yeah, on blur you can make use of, or on selection. On selection is there? No. On mouse down. Yeah, you're using the mouse, right? So using mouse down.
Which means when you click on that thing, it'll change.
Yes, as soon as you select, you call it JavaScript function select color. Okay, now you call the JavaScript function here, and then this function you need to create it, right? So go to the script tag, you create the function structure first. So this is the function structure, basic structure. So what's the function you have given? Select color, right? Select color, and then what color you are selecting? You are selecting user color, right? So go back here, go here, and then see user color. So you are getting the element of the color user color. Okay, use this user color to see, okay, the value. What is the value here?
Should there be any underscore?
What is that, Advay?
In the brackets of get element by ID, should there be any underscore?
No, it's up to you. So I always suggest not to use not to use underscore or spaces or hyphen. Sorry, can use hyphen or underscore. That's okay. You can use underscore also. Okay, no, not an issue. Don't use spaces. Okay, don't use spaces. So it should be without spaces only. Fine. Okay, now let's see here. We have selected user color and then user selected value. Let's see what color it is going to display. Okay, where is that? Oh, it didn't save. Save it, refresh it, and then see it is 0 0. Okay, see the value selected is 0.
Then
Try
how
clicking on the selected color.
if we press on the black color, it shows that hashtag in 000. So how to change the color through that page only? When it says
Okay, yeah. Here, okay, we have to get the color of the this is the ID, right? So here we'll give an ID for this. This one is also one more ID. So chosen color. Okay, chosen color. Yeah, actually no, I want you to do this part so that you'll come to know, like, this is a very small use case, right? Very small use case. So you can do this one actually. Okay, Control Z. So I'm getting chosen color. Okay. So this chosen color, you have to apply the style. So chosen color dot style is equal to, within double quotes, you can change the style of the span, like color colon, and then here you can append it with, so plus is nothing but adding the value. So user color dot value, user selected value. So I suggest you can try some research on it, then it would be easy for you actually. So you see here on click, it got changed already, the color. So on this one, we need to see like what value is selected here. Not on click means on click of this it is taking. So on selected value, what is the parameter? What is the attribute? You need to identify that. So maybe I'll try to find it, but as of now, it's, you see here by default it is yellow. On click, there is already a value, right? So let's change this pre-selected value. Okay, the color is already this one. Yeah, correct. This one, you see here. Where is the statement? Yeah, here we'll read it. The color picker input field is used for capturing user color selection. So if you want your user to select certain colors, right, you can make use of color picker. The color is displayed using the input tag. Okay, it's, we know this already. The value of the type attribute is color. So the type value is color. And if you want to provide a default color, you can give default value here. Okay, and the color input tag space attributes are, we know the attributes, type, name, ID, value, these are common, and default value is black. So we already seen, if you want to provide a default value, right? So let's give a value here, hash FFEE something, some kind of default value, and then it is earlier black, right? So let me refresh this. So it is yellow color, it becomes yellow. Okay, and then you can change it to, change it black. So now you can see the difference. I'm going to click on this. The text box got, the color got changed like this. So whereas we'll try to find it. I'll ask someone, all of you to try, as as and when I change this color, this text box color, this text color should also change. Okay.
So that's our
I
homework.
just remembered that today we have a test, right?
Actually, no, I wanted to complete this part, so that's why I'm not taking up the test today.
So
Okay.
there's no test today.
Yeah, no test. I'm going to create the questions, and then I'll pass you the link, maybe for Saturday and Sunday. You can try that on Saturdays or Sundays. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, today's homework is that when we change the color, the text also changes.
Yeah, you can try that part. You can try that part. I want that gives you some creative level of thinking. Okay, that gives you some idea. So okay, yeah. If you, do you all have 5 minutes time, so that I can complete 3 more fields?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let's complete this part. This part is pretty simple, only fast. So we are trying to learn about the date field. So the date field is used to capture the user selected date. So if you want a pop-up like this, I'll show you in the code. Okay, so date field is also same, but the only thing is you have a requirement of user to select the chosen date. Okay, like date input field. Okay, it's like a selection. Okay, here I'll just give date of birth. Yeah, date of birth, and this part is not needed. Okay, This part is also not needed. And then here you just have to make it as date. That's it. So, and then here you just give a name, unique ID, date of birth. Okay. Now I'm going to save this, refresh it on the browser. You should be able to see a calendar pop up like this. So this is one of the
From the calendar, you can only choose the. You can also choose the date.
yes. So this is a calendar. Whenever you click on this pop up, the small icon here, right? The calendar icon. You click on this, or if you can directly change the values here, like 0101 and then 2020, something like this. So you can type the keyboard also. And if you want calendar, you can select the calendars here. You can see which year you want to select. So all the months also available, so you can select it. Okay. Now you can just you see here, it's like never ending. It keeps on going. Okay. So this is one level of date actually. If you want your users to capture their date of birth, right? You can make use of this calendar icon. Okay, the calendar component. Fine. Now let's so let's see the slide. Yeah, alternate option is to use checkbox. Suppose if you don't want to give this feature, you can use text box only to ask your user to type in this format. Okay, text box is also valid here. Okay, now let's see another slide. What's there? Month. So it's also same. So let's see here. Let's check in the code. I'm going to copy paste the same thing. Copy paste, and here this is month field. Okay. So here month of birth. So here I just want to capture the month. So full date of birth is in some cases it is like security issue, right? So some organizations they choose like what is your month of birth, and then they just save it. So here for that you just have to give month here. It will give year also. Okay. Yeah, I'm giving month. So it should be the same. It should be same MOB. Okay, fine. Now let's see how it looks on the browser. Okay, you see here month of the birth is coming like this. It's also a calendar. So the only thing is like it gives month and year only. It doesn't give you the dates, exact dates it will not give. I select this. So it will be like this, February 2020. So you want to change the year. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you see here. Yeah, here. So you can still go down, and then which year you want, you can just select that and then click on the month. So the format would be month and year. So if you have requirement like this to capture month and year, and then you can make use of this component. Okay. So let's see another one. So time field. Time is also like one of the component, but we rarely use the time
It
component.
will just show the this
Right.
clock symbol.
Correct. Not clock symbol. So let's see here. Time. Okay. So let's devote. Okay, this is time, right? So I just mentioned time here. Okay, like if your school starts at 9, right? So I'll just take your time, starting time. Okay, school starting time. So I'll give ID as same, and then this one will become time. Now here you can choose school starts at. So let's save this and then see it on the browser. Okay, see it on the browser. You see here, yeah, small. Yeah, you're right, Advay. So it's a small clock icon here. You can select the time here, AM or PM, hours and minutes. Okay.
And I found out that 1 is for AM and 2 is for PM.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, when you submit the values, right? When you see the alert on that, okay, good, yeah. So here you can just, make use of this time component, like, time field like this, if you have some specific requirements like this. Fine. Now let's see what is there actually. There's nothing much. So drop down, yeah, drop down is actually, little bit big actually. So drop down, submit, yeah, fine. So this part I will cover it. Div also, div and span also will come in grouping tags. Okay. So I'll explain these three parts tomorrow, and then we will cover this one also. Like, what is that? This slide. This slide also we'll try to complete tomorrow. Okay. Then most of the input components you are already have idea about how to use it. So next level, what we do is like events. Events like just now we saw some events, right? On click event, on key press. So all those events we'll see. Okay, we'll see from the next week, and I'll note it down also, like the points which we were discussing. So like how to send values to server. Okay, this is one, right? Which Vaibhav has asked how to send the value.
Yeah.
And
How to get the values from the user?
yeah, correct. How to get the values? All the
Yeah.
input fields are there. All the input fields using the user form. Okay, HTML forms.
But I tried I in the I deleted post and I wrote get, but it still never worked.
No, that will not, you will not understand that part now. That you will understand only when you learn this part, how to send values to the server. Okay. So during that time, I'll explain you. So fine, I told some of the items, right? So how to send the values to the server, and I'll note it down actually what I told, like I'll be telling that later. So I'll note it down and then I'll give you all those details. Fine. So this is about the inputs, and then slowly once we know these things, right, we'll apply styles to each text box. Okay, when you click on it, it becomes big. When you take out your mouse, it becomes small again. So you just have feeling of giving slight animations, small animations, and the right color combinations, so that it gives a real feel of how your website. And from next week onwards, we'll start building a small website. Okay, very small website for your purpose. Okay, for your purpose only. We'll please keep all if you have any of the photos on your favorite photos or the background photos, you just keep it with you. Okay, to make use of those photos for building your small website. Okay, I'm going to help you out by building a small one. So we'll do that part. And then if you want to deploy it on a server, I will actually help you out, like I'll provide a specific domain in this website, like your own projects. So I'll give all your names, and then your project I'll add it there if you want, if you are really interested. So what you can do is like it will come like this: projects.ipasmo.com, right? So when I configure this, you'll see all your names inside this domain and the project that you have done. So when you click on the link, it will show your project.
Sir, actually, my holiday homework is to develop a website.
Yeah, yeah, Aditya, I heard it actually, So first we need to, anything, right? You need to go systematically. First, you need to get the knowledge first. Second is like, how to implement it. Third one is how to complete. So some levels are there. So you need to have basic information first, complete the information, means implementation. After implementation, you can build your own project and complete it. Okay.
So which week are we building that small website?
What is it, Aditya?
Which week are we building that small website?
Very small actually. We will see like what kind of website is it. I'll show.
Yeah, which week?
We'll start with next week only.
Okay.
We have to start with next, because we don't have much time here. We are already 17, right? So we have 5 days in the next week and another 4 days in the subsequent week. So we have almost 9 days here. Within these 9 days, every day you have to slowly building your website part by part. I will explain some classes, and then remaining 10 to 15 minutes we'll look into your website part. Okay.
If you don't want to put CSS, it's okay, right?
No, CSS I'm covering it, right? So like this part, applying the styles, you see here. So we don't need much details. This is all about CSS only. This is all about CSS. Yeah. So this part, yeah, you are right. Okay. CSS, this part, anyways, I have it in the next early of the next week. Okay, this is like representation. Fine. CSS representation, JavaScript representation, and folder structure of the projects. So I'm going to explain these 4 items in the early next week. Okay. Then the real project, actually how the real project will look like, and then what you can do. Fine. Okay. Yeah, that's it from my side today. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Okay. So I'll try to see today's test. I'll try to give it on Saturdays and Sundays so that you can work on Saturdays and Sundays on that. Okay.
Bye, sir.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Please practice. Okay. Everyone, please practice.